And then my roommates, they were there for a little bit, but then they left. And, um, in a way, it was like, it was a relief because um, one of the roommates was not being careful. And I was always riddled with anxiety that this person is going to bring COVID into the apartment, you know? Um, so there was that. So when that person left, I was very happy. But when, Ashley being there, it was like, when Ashley left, I felt very alone. And obviously, like, Ashley, please, if you watch this, don't feel bad or anything. You had to do it, of course. And for the first week that I was completely alone, I was like, woo, I have the apartment to myself, like when you live with people, you're like, yeah, I live by myself. But then after that, when, a couple of weeks go by, you're like, oh. And then weeks and weeks went by and I didn't talk to anyone. There was like a whole week that I didn't even talk. Like I I didn't even hear the own sound of my I didn't hear the sound of my own voice for a whole week. The silence was deafening. And it got really bad because then in New York, like the cases went up. When you look at when I would go outside, I went down like once a month to take out the recycling and the trash and all that stuff because I was so terrified of being around people. I remember walking outside and it was horrible because the buildings that were like going down the hill where I lived in Hamilton Heights, like they all had black bows on them. And I was like, it was like this is like the apocalypse, it felt like one of those doomsday movies, like it's just like, what? And you would hear ambulances go by like every 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes there was an ambulance, there was an ambulance, there was an ambulance. And it was just like, is that another person that's dead? Like that's the only thing that went to my mind. I was like, oh, that must be another person that is about to die or is dead. Like who the hell knows, right? And all those things, like, they mess you up, man. So
brutal.
Yeah, I had to be alone with my thoughts again, and that's when I discovered how angry I was and how much it had consumed me and about all these other things. And I started working towards all those little things that were affecting me. And the one thing that, helped me was that our lease was up in September of 2020 and we weren't going to renew because we hated that apartment, and plus everything was crazy in New York and they weren't going to be in New York paying rent for what if you're not working or anything, it was better for them to just be away with their families.
Yeah.
So I just decided, I was like, okay, I need to leave the city. I need to leave the city because I can't handle it anymore. It's too much. And this is me just, saying it very, generally, because a lot of things happened at that time. Again, I was alone, completely alone. And then I was like, okay, well, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? And that's when I decided, I was like, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico. And my thought, I was very responsible. I was like, I'm not going to go to Puerto Rico and be like a freaking tourist. Like that's my home. Those are my people and take care of them. So I made sure that I was around no one at all for 2 weeks before I traveled. Plus I took COVID test and it was negative, obviously. And then I traveled with like a face shield and my mask and the gloves and the whole thing. I didn't even drink water on the plane. I was like, hell no. I'm not taking this plastic off of my face. Um, then I get to Puerto Rico. I made sure I didn't see anyone from our family or my friends, like, at least not the family, because I did see Laura. I didn't see family for 2 weeks because I was like, I'm not going to put them at risk. I went, I stayed in an Airbnb, the Airbnb that was really nice, because I was like, I need a place where I feel nice not that I feel nice, but that feels nice and that I feel comfortable and at peace with, and that has like good vibes. And I need a place where I can heal. I need a place where I can see nature, which was like the beach, and it was close to a yunque, so I could see it from afar. Um, and I need a place that's clean, that's like open, somewhere where I can feel that I can make my own for a little bit. And it was costly, it was expensive, but I was like, I need this for my healing, I just need it. And then I just stayed there, and it was beautiful because I remember the first week being there. First of all, I went ham. I was like, where's my Puerto Rican food at? I was like, get me that Puerto Rican food. So I did that. And then after that, I remember after those first few days that I settled in and all that stuff, I was like, okay, just do the work. And I remember I told myself out loud, I was like, because I already remember I had been working on this for about 5 months about letting go of my anger. I was by myself. I had nothing else to do. I was just working on letting go of my anger. And then right there, I said out loud, I said, I'm going to let go of my anger. No more anger. And I remember it was like this illuminating thing. It was like this thing had lifted off of my chest. I was free. I was truly free. It was like, eran como cadenas que me estaban atando a un infierno que yo no tenía por qué estar atada a eso. It was like a drug. It was like the more angry I got, the more I wanted to be angry all the time. And I was like, I was angry at so many things in life. Things from my childhood, things that were happening to me in my personal life, things that were happening to me with my career, things that were not happening. Or I was angry at the world, at everyone. I was angry at God. I was angry at everything. I was angry at Jose Julian. I was angry at myself for letting myself lose myself. And then when I let go of that, I was like, I am free. And it felt so good. And after that, Lucho, sincerely, I have not gotten angry like that again. I just don't. Of course I can get upset. Of course I can get a little angry because it happens, like when, little things bother you, whatever. But that horrible like wrath thing, esa ira, esa cosa que me subía por los pies y como que me consumía. Never again. Never again. It's gonna be almost a year, right? Yeah. So then, other stuff happened because that's life. Things keep happening. And we just keep growing, and the journey continues. It's not gonna end anytime soon. But I remembered what, that professor from college said, que la vida todavía no te ha dado duro. What came after that fue bien duro. But the worst thing of all of those things, was feeling true loneliness. I don't wish that upon anyone. And losing myself. Those two things are things that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. And I'm just so grateful that, little by little, I've been getting her back. And not just getting the old version back, but getting a better version of her. Because the old version, needed some adjustments. So I'm just very glad where I am right now, and I feel like I'm a better human, actually. I don't know, I just feel, it feels good, it feels liberating. And up to a month ago, I wasn't in a great place. But little by little, I've just been letting go of stuff. So it's just like, it always brings me back to those words from that Amy Jo Berman said, like, are you willing to destroy it, uncreate it, let it go? So be it.
I think that's perfect to wrap it up. I think if anything I'd like to say about that is that en verdad ha sido un honor y un privilegio poder conocer esta versión de ti. Porque como te dije la última vez que hablamos por teléfono, y a la verdad que yo tengo muchos errores. Tengo muchos errores que estoy tratando de bregar a diario. Y no soy quien para juzgar. Pero lo que sí puedo decir es que yo sentí que iba a pasar mucho, mucho más tiempo antes de poder verte en un sitio donde tú te vieras que realmente te has apropiado de tu existencia, ¿sabes? Es la primera vez, yo creo que no sé, o sea, no sé si decir en mi vida, pero yo creo que es la primera vez en tanto tiempo que yo te he visto en verdadero control de tu persona. Porque sí han habido muchas ocasiones en donde yo he visto que tú tienes completo control de la situación, tienes completo entendimiento de lo que está sucediendo, tú trabajas muy bien, o sea, eh, no digo solamente trabajando, sino como que sabes bregar muy bien con presión, tú puedes aguantar presión.
Yeah.
Y se te hace bien fácil bregar con la presión. Pero nunca, tú sabes que hay momentos en el diario vivir de uno donde uno se toma un break de ser una persona y se quita las capas. Y pues, ¿verdad? Solamente las personas que tú tienes bien centradas en tu círculo pueden ver quién tú eres bajo todas esas capas. Muy raras las personas ven quién tú eres debajo de todas las capas, ¿verdad? Porque a veces hasta ni uno mismo puede ver quién esa persona es. Pero sí, en los pocos momentos que yo te vi como que quitar todos esos layers, todas esas capas de como, o sea, pues, de tu bregar con tus situaciones, de tu bregar con tu diario vivir, etcétera. Se notaba que era solamente una capa por un momento. Y ahora es genuino. Y me da gusto, no solamente gusto, me siento privilegiado por poder saber solamente un fragmento. Porque tú me puedes explicar con lujo de detalles todo lo, ¿verdad? Todo lo que ha pasado y yo no lo voy a entender. Y puedo tratar, como lo he intentado, y tú sabes, siempre que hablamos por teléfono, por eso nos quedamos horas largas hablando, porque quiero encontrar, ¿entiendes? Yo empujé a un lado, yo aprendí a escuchar hace poco tiempo, pero aprendí a escuchar. Y me di cuenta que escuchar se trata de no querer decir algo, sino de escuchar lo que está pasando y entonces tú respondes.
Yep.
Y yo creo que, en fin, me siento privilegiado de poder ver esa genuinidad brotar de ti. Y, ¿verdad? Es triste, es difícil como una persona que te ama ver lo difícil que tuvo que ser para que tú pudieras llegar a esa conclusión. Porque no solamente por ser tu hermano, sino, o sea, ahí me encuentro yo. desarmando una masculinidad tóxica que se me ha metido por ojo, boca y nariz desde que me crié.